I welcome you to this channel. So today we are going to take up a poem written by Shirley Toulson, and the title of the poem is A Photograph. What is a photograph? A photograph may be a framed picture or a portrait. So let us continue. A photograph. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's. That was before I was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Some 20, 30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Both wry with the labored ease of loss. Now, she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. So, this is the poem that we are going to do. The poem is divided into 3 stanzas. So, let us take up the first stanza. The cardboard here refers to the framed picture. So the cardboard shows me how it was. So when she looks at the picture, it tells her as to how it had been when the two girl cousins went paddling. Now when she looks at the picture, it tells her as to how it had been when the mother had gone for a sea holiday along with her two cousins. Each one holding one of my mother's hands. Each of the two cousins were holding her mother's hands. And this is all depicted in the photograph or the picture or the framed cardboard. And she, the big girl. Now, out of the 3, the mother was the eldest of the lot. And at that time, she was around 12 years or so. So, it talks about her mother's childhood when the mother had gone for a sea holiday along with her cousins to a beach. All 3 stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. All of them posed for a picture taken by their uncle. Now, this is the same picture or the photograph, the title. This is the same picture that Shirley Toulson, the poetess, is referring to. A sweet face, my mother's. Now, when she looks at the old picture of her mother, when she had gone for a sea holiday, she finds that her mother was very, very pretty and she had a very sweet and a beautiful face. That was before I was born. So naturally, when she is talking about her mother's childhood, she was not born at that time. That was before I was born. And the sea, which appeared to have changed less, was their terribly transient feet. Now, in that picture consists of the 3 children. One is the mother who is there in the middle. And then we have the 2 cousin sisters, each one of them holding the mother's hand. And in the backdrop, there is the sea. Because this picture was taken during a sea holiday that they had enjoyed. So when Shirley Toulson looks at the picture again, she finds that there is no change in the backdrop. The sea or the ocean has remained the same, whereas a lot of changes had taken place in the mother as well as the 2 cousins. And the sea, which appears to have changeless, washed their terribly transient feet. Transient here means temporary. So the sea water was washing their feet, transient feet, temporary feet, because this will not last for long. They will age it, they will grow, they will age, and ultimately they will die. Whereas the sea has almost remained the same. The last two lines means, or it talks about the transient or the temporary nature of human life on earth. Human beings are temporary as compared to the permanent nature of the sea. Because a lot of changes have taken place in the mother, whereas the sea has remained the same with the passage of time. So I hope that you have understood the first stanza. Let us move on to the second stanza. Some 20, 30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. Now, when the mother would look at the snapshot 20, 30 years later, that means what will be the age of the mother? At that time, when the picture was taken, the mother was 12 years old. So, if we consider that after 30 years, she looks at that snapshot or she looks at that photograph, then the mother will be around 42 years old. So, at that age, when she would look at the snapshot, she would laugh at it. Because the past of the mother is associated with fond memories. And she would laugh at that picture and she would remark, see, Betty and Dolly, she would say. Who are Betty and Dolly? Betty and Dolly are her cousins who had accompanied her to the sea holiday. See, Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. And she would also laugh because of the manner in which they were dressed for the sea holiday. The sea holiday was a past. Mine is a laughter. Both wry with the laborities of loss. Now, both wry with the laborities of loss. Both are upset, disappointed. Wry, upset. Wry means upset, disappointed. Both are upset with the loss that they have suffered in life. The mother, both are unhappy with the loss that they have suffered in life. But they cannot do anything about it. The mother has lost the happiness that she experienced during the sea holiday, which was a very fond memory for her. And what did the daughter lose? The daughter lost the laughter of her mother. So I hope that the second stanza is also clear. Let us continue. This is the third stanza. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. Now Shirley Toulson says that her mother is already dead. For how many years she is dead? As many years as that girl lived. That girl in the picture was how old was that girl in the picture? That girl in the picture was 12 years old. So for 12 years now, her mother has been dead, and of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. It's silence, silences. Of this circumstance refers to the death, demise of a mother, about which there is nothing anyone can do. We are all mortals and we are all destined to die. There is a sense of utter helplessness, and so it is silence, silences. The poem ends in complete silence, as there is nothing one can do about this circumstance. The circumstance being the death of her mother. So, we have seen that the poem is divided into three stages. The first stage talks about the poet's mother's enjoyment of a sea holiday with her cousins. The second stage That is the second stanza. Talks about, or it takes us 20, 30 years later, when the mother was around 32 or 42 years old. And then the third stage, the poet remembers her mother with a heavy heart because her mother is no longer alive. She is dead 12 years back. She died 12 years back. As long as that girl lived, that girl in the picture was 12 years old. And so the poet remembers her mother with a heavy heart. So, with this, I think we'll wind up today's lesson. So, I hope that you have understood it. Thank you very much. We'll meet in the next video.